Here on another episode of AST. Got Jesse Westover here. I've known him for 3 years?
3-4, yeah.
3-4 years. And since we met, we used to work together, and he's gone on and started his own company. So he's the owner of Nutrition Junction. And so, Jesse, I know you didn't like the snow on the way here, but it's fitting because I'm going to be honest, dude, the one reason why I had you on this podcast, or like I knew I was always going to have you on this podcast, is the nights you slept at the GNC and open up shop the next morning. Yeah. And I was trying to remember with Nicole what that looked like, but I just remember watching you on the camera and you were passed out on the desk. And I'm pretty sure she was like, hey, you can come stay at my place, because I think I was stuck at Danae's place, which I was living at, my buddy's girlfriend. And everybody was just stuck. Like, I probably could have made it with the truck. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure you were fucked with that little car.
Yeah, the car I have. Man, if I had my truck I got rid of 6 months previous to that, I would have been fine. But that Malibu, I had trouble moving it in the parking lot. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm stuck.
So it was. Do you remember the date? Was it around the same time?
Yeah, it was mid-April, because for some reason I remember it being around tax day, which is like April 15th?
15th, yeah.
So it was definitely mid-April.
Were you getting some money back? That's why you remembered?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
A couple $100.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think we had two stores, right? I still had St. Anthony at that point.
Yeah.
And so I was making the rounds, right? Like, hey, we're gonna close tomorrow. Like, nothing's gonna be open tomorrow. Yeah. And I can't remember why you stayed exactly, or what exactly the deal was, but
I think it was because, like, I know I had to open the store in the morning and I was stuck. I was like, at the time I lived in Richfield, which was a good 30-minute drive, I think.
Yep.
And I was like, I have to open. It's like, whatever, I'm just gonna stay here, because the store closed at 8 or 9 at night, I think.
8. Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just whatever. I'm just gonna stay. Whatever. I was like, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm not. It's worthless.
Dude,
to go home.
So that was. I was just like surprised, dude. I was like, "Are you sure, bro?"
Yeah.
And so that's work ethic, and that's really what I mean by that, right? Yeah. A lot of people would have done a lot of things, calling somebody for a ride, ask me, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Because I think St. Anthony stayed closed that day. I don't think anybody went in.
Yeah, well,
but I'm pretty sure.
What, that next day or the day before? Or that day?
The Sunday.
Oh yeah, because I don't remember her name, but I was texting her. Yeah, but the next day at Brooklyn Park, that was actually a really busy day.
Yeah, I know.
Like I texted you like an hour or two into like store opening, and I sent you the sales. You're like, what the fuck? I was like, dude, people are still coming out. They're still buying a ton of shit.
Dude, I was just like, whatever. If he wants to stay there and he's stuck, I guess whatever. Yeah. If he wants to open it up, like, I'll pay him. Like, I figured it'd be a waste of money. Like, I figured no one was gonna come in.
I thought so too, and I was like, what the? At one time, I had like 4 or 5 people in the store, which for GNC is pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like,
and that was before a lot of the other stores closed around that area too. So like it was. Yeah,
there's still a lot of 2 or 3 other stores in the area, I think. Yeah. Still competing. So like, oh, okay.
I mean, we might have been the only one open that day though.
Yeah, probably.
Because dude, it was pretty bad the next morning. I mean, nobody was really able to do nothing. I drove around for fun because I had the truck, and I'm like, dude, I gotta do it.
Yeah. And the parking lot was pretty plowed because there was tractors, and that actually plowed me in, so that was cool. Yeah, there's tractors. The parking lot was almost clear in the morning. I was like,
they do a pretty good job at that place, right? It's kind of like this center that they want to make sure that people continue want to make that area grow. Yeah. Now there's Chick-fil-A. What is over there again? Dude, there's Chick-fil-A, Freddy's Burgers and Fries,
really?
Panera Bread. Like, wow. Yeah, there's like shit going up on the other side of the road. I don't think there is.
Wow, like across the highway by the Hy-Vee, or?
No, like just right across. By the other side of Zane? Yeah. The other side of Zane. Okay. So where there was just McDonald's and Quick Trip, that's where it's all going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Finally, right? Only fucking 5 years late, right? That's why I went in there. I'm like, oh, this is going to develop. Fuck, it only took 5 years. Yeah. So listen, man, tell me a little bit about Nutrition Junction. I know that, you and I talked a lot when we worked together at the store, and I figured this was, you basically told me this was the avenue that you wanted to pursue, right? Yeah. But I didn't know exactly how you were going to get there. because we all were busy, right? And then
Yeah.
and then you got a job full time as a corrections officer, and that changed a lot of things. And so we kind of lost touch, but one day I seen it was official. So give me the fast forward version of starting it up, man.
So it started all because honestly I didn't like how GNC operated in some avenues.
I figured.
Obviously there's still whatever, but long story short, at the end of the day there was some brands, even back when I worked for corporate, there were some brands that GNC wouldn't carry. And there were some guys at corporate that would ask me basically for help, because I was pretty active on social media even at corporate stores, because it helped sales, obviously. But there was some brands that the corporate and GNC just wouldn't carry, because obviously there's brands have to get approved still through franchise, right?
Yeah, so there has not been a lot of success in getting third-party products approved recently, right? And a lot of it's just because the store's full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the amount of insurance that's required is a lot higher for the vendor, and some of that other stuff, the red tape to get into GNC versus some independent shops. It's just a lot more to it and a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And then with everything going on in the last little while, it's just been at a standstill for that sector of the business, man.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes stuff falls on the wayside. I have been successful before and got something approved.
Right.
Ultimate Forza was the one of those, right?
Yeah.
But it's frustrating sometimes as a franchisee, because if you can get reports on quality standards, manufacturing protocols, is it safe? Does it meet the standards? Do you got the right insurance? Okay, I'd like to carry it, right?
Yeah.
But you sign up for the GNC franchise, and sometimes really it's just not worth the bullshit for them to get a product into one store and have to worry about the liability,
Yeah.
Even though some of those products have the potential to absolutely take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started it basically because there was brands that GNC wouldn't touch, and I was like, why the...
You liked them. You thought they were quality,
It's like, why the hell? It's like, literally, if you carry this brand, people are going to flock to the stores for these brands. And I'm like, why aren't you carrying these brands? So I just got sick of it and started my own thing.
Yeah.
And obviously it would be cool to have an actual physical retail store, because I like working physical supplement stores.
You get to talk to people, and it's cool, dude. It's fun.
Yeah. Not that online's boring, but it's obviously not as good as a retail store. So I would love a retail store, but I started online, obviously, because it was low overhead.
Yeah.
Low overhead. To probably start a store on my own, it's probably like $200,000.
Yeah.
Definitely do not have that.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's low overhead. I'll start online at first, and I don't know, maybe hopefully a year or two down the road, after I'm out of the National Guard, I'll get a physical retail store. We'll see. So
Yeah, so how many years left you got the National Guard?
2 years? 2020, yeah.
Well, what's the deal? Like you go 6 and then you're done, or like is it whatever you choose?
Funny, so apparently there's a 4-year contract option. I didn't know that. I signed up for 6 because I was just 20 years old and bored. I was like,
on the plus side, dude, you need 6 to qualify for the VA loan, so 6 is probably good.
Yeah. So like I didn't know it's like I found out after I enlisted. Oh, you could have gone for a 4-year contract. I'm like, bro, what the? But obviously with 6 years, I literally enlisted because I was bored when I was working at Sears still. So I was like, well, whatever.
Nobody, previous family, old man, none of them people in the Army.
My grandpa was, but that was like the mid 50s.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, he was the only one, and he was active. I'm guard. I went guard because I felt like it's kind of funny now, because if I didn't go guard, if I was active, I wouldn't be able to start what I started now and do the fun things I did now. It's like I went in the guard and the reserves basically because I felt like there was something I was supposed to do in the civilian side. And at the time, Sears was probably one of my funnest jobs besides like GNC working for you. It was it was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was fun, but I started reserves because I felt like I just liked my civilian job too much, and I felt like obviously active duty, you're doing that, and I felt like that would have just like. So
yeah, I mean, you might just be gone for a little while.
Yeah, not doing anything fun. I just felt like there was something more for me in the civilian side versus the military side. But you've worked at quite a few retailers, from Sears to GNC, and multiple owners and corporate. So it gives you some definite experience in that sector. And
how do you? So you got the job as a corrections officer. How long ago? Probably not long after you.
I've been working there for a year now, and I applied like a year and a half. It took like 6 to 8 months to get in because it's with Hennepin County, so there's a long application process. Background. I mean, I knew I was going to pass the background, so that wasn't an issue. But it takes a long time to get through the application process.
So that pays pretty decent. Got good benefits.
Yeah.
Did you take your money from your primary job and was that kind of gave you the ability to start the online business, the LLCs, the websites, all that stuff, buy inventory, all that shit?
Yeah. So I mean, I have a credit card for the inventory because obviously, supplements, it's not cheap.
No, it depends, man. I mean, you can go all sorts of ways with inventory. You can try to do it really lean, and then you're gonna maybe run out of stock and risk delaying ship times, or you can load up for a better price.
Yeah.
But then you sit on it.
Yeah, it's a mess. But I took the corrections job. I took the corrections job because it was good money.
Yeah.
And I can literally put probably close to a full check into like my business. So that's
per month.
Yeah.
That's a big
That's a big deal. So I was like, well, so that's mainly why I took the corrections job, because it was good money. And the only thing I put on the credit card was like my initial inventory, which was like, I don't know, like 10,000, something like that.
Oh, damn.
And then everything else was, I just paid up for cash, like website fees, trademark, which.
You said you just got your trademark right before we jumped on here, huh?
Yeah, that took like a year and a half, actually. So I filed June before I started, which was, it took a long time.
Dude, they denied mine for Change Organics. CBD is not allowed to be trademarked, apparently.
What?
Swear to fucking God.
That's dumb.
Yeah. So, I mean, granted, I still went through the registration process and I did get denied. Once it is changed to whatever is necessary for it to be trademarked, I'm sure I'll have the first right of refusal. Like, I'm sure nobody can sneak in and say, oh, I applied first. Well, I have the dates on when I applied,
Yeah. Man, they're picky. It depends what class you go to, and there's so many different classes. It's like I ended up going for the online store featuring supplements.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you could probably understand the same thing with that. But, dude, they're picky. And I messed up on mine the first, because you need proof in commerce, proof that you're using it.
Yeah.
My dumb ass, I put a screenshot of my website. It wasn't a live website. It was a password. There was a password on the front on the web page, so they couldn't scroll through it. But so they denied it, and I had to actually pay a trademark attorney $200 because I don't know how to respond to that. So I was like, I don't know, man.
So you had to make the site live and then redo it, right?
Yeah. So basically, like, I filed for the trademark 6 months before, and I was working on the website, but I didn't make the website live, so it was just a password site. And that's not actual proof in commerce.
No, you ain't doing shit on. You're not doing commerce.
It's like at first I didn't know that, and then they won't even look at it until 3 months in. After 3 months in, they'll assign it. Long story short, they came back and say, "Hey, you fucked up," and then they give your email out to all these lawyers. So I got literally like probably 100 emails from different lawyers. I'm like,
just pick one,
bro. So I picked the coolest name. It was Trademark Garden. I was like, cool.
I went through LegalZoom, and then I had the option to fight their denial. And I read the fine, whatever the document was, and I was just like, so you're not winning. I'm not going to fucking fight it. And so I'm not really worried about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's bullshit, in my opinion. It probably has something to do with the classification of it because, even on Instagram and Facebook, you can't run paid ads with that. It's banned.
No, really?
Yeah. Supplements aren't, right? But like that particular one is.
Yeah, even ads with Facebook and stuff, they're picky with what you do. Cause say if you have this thermogenic, you can't put like loose fat. You can't do that.
Nothing.
Like you can't put anything relative to goals. So you have to be careful how you. Oh my God! Which at first I didn't.
The one local supplement delivery, I think I've seen that one quite a few from you.
Yeah,
you outside with the muscle shirt bangs. I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but
that ad actually wasn't performing, so I turned it off. I was like, I paid $75 for it, which is not a ton, but like, I was like, this isn't doing anything. It's like
you got to trial and error it though, man. Just make a different one and see what happens with that. And then after you get like 20 of them, you'll be like, okay, well, that one worked better than the rest. Let's make more like that.
Yeah. And going into this, I had no idea about any of that stuff. I'm just like, basically, okay, that works, and it's I never understood why like people building businesses, like Rob Bailey said it a lot. He's like, I literally don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I understand that now.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand when people say that. At first, I was like, what?
Did anybody ever tell you, like, dude, chill out, settle down, just fucking work the correction job? What are you doing with this online store? What are you doing with Supplements Period? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
There's still a lot of people, like, at my job now. It's like I work overnights, and a lot of the guys that work that job, it's like I could easily work, like, this correction job and be pretty well off and, like, retire with pretty good money. And
benefits.
Good insurance, even, like, so I could be well off, but it's like I don't want to just, like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's not what I want to do. So people are like, why? So there's been times where I'm up for like 30 hours at a time. Cause obviously I work 12-hour shifts and then I get home and there's stuff to do. And it's like, oh my God, it's noon. I haven't been asleep in like 30 hours. So there's still people that kind of judge me pretty hard for it.
Yeah.
Especially being 25, where most of my friends are like married, have kids, and like are in a relationship. I'm just me, been single for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So people like tell me to chill and like live a life. It's like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you know what you want to do, right? And I understand that people say that and why they say it.
Yeah.
But it's either one of two reasons: they don't understand your choices, or they don't believe you can succeed. Probably.
Yeah.
And I've made a lot of, because dude, I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Yeah.
You fucking judge everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
So everybody makes judgment calls, and I tell you what, I've been wrong more than once on where somebody's going to end up.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times it doesn't really have anything to, I mean, sure, it has something to do with like their intelligence and shit like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just navigating through a bunch of stuff where you just said, like, I know the feeling of I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you just keep doing that long enough.
Yeah.
And then eventually you start to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't directly participate in the making of the website for Change Organics or any of that, or the design of it or nothing like that. I mean, you know, Nicole and Dimitri took that. I just knew the name and concepts, right? Concepts. But all of a sudden it's like a finished product, and you're like, I don't know how many steps it took, because I know it was a lot.
Yeah.
But you just keep going and then figure it out. So how long has Nutrition Junction been around?
Well, website's been live since October, but
NutritionJunction.com?
Yeah, then Nutrition Junction, because somebody's squatting on NutritionJunction.com.
Did you try to hit him up?
Yeah, I just found his information, actually. I'm going to try to hit him up, but it's literally, you go to the website, it says, hello, happy world, with a smiley face, a white page. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah, let me get that for like $150.
Yeah, so I swear to God, if it says a couple thousand, I'm going to like.
So thenutritionjunction.com?
Yeah.
Wasn't Facebook called thefacebook.com? Dimitri, do you know that? No?
Nah, I don't know.
I fucking swear to God it's in the movie. I swear to God.
It sounds familiar, yeah.
All right, anyways, thenutritionjunction.com is where your site is hosted live. And then what were you going to say after that?
I don't remember.
You got an app? Just website?
Yeah, just website.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
create
website.
it yourself?
Yeah, through Shopify. Luckily, Shopify makes it pretty easy. But when I was, like Shopify has like a 7 or 14-day trial. When I was on it, like I signed up and I was like creating my website. I was like, I just looked at it. I was like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was easy, but I was like,
So I'm gonna just make an assumption, right? You probably weren't like a tech dude growing up in high school.
No.
Nerding out. Like, I saw that computer you had, bro. That thing was a piece of shit for a little while.
Yeah, that computer, that computer I had when I was working for you actually was it was the computer I bought for $700-800 when I was going to college, and then I dropped out, whatever. So
But it was half broke, bro. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
So I bought that with my high school graduation money, and because I was gonna go to college, and then like a year into me having that, my cat stepped on it, and then my cat broke the screen, so I had to fix it. And then I think I was like fucking drinking one night, and then I dropped it, so like half of it was cracked, and it was just a pile of garbage.
I don't think it worked unless you had it plugged in either.
Yeah, my charging port, like you had to hold the charging port and like plug the. It was a dude, it was a mess.
Yeah. So you got everything up and running. You remember? All right. So excluding inventory, right? You know, that was 10 grand probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably could have got by with a little less than that at the start.
Yeah, it's actually one of my like not regrets, but like I probably should have scaled down a little bit and like
learning, right?
Yeah.
So what about everything else, right? Like if you exclude the inventory, what does it cost you to get that up and running with fees, attorney stuff, website stuff?
Total on the trade market, probably only spent around $500-$600. It's like not a lot, but it's a lot of patience. And then starting up to like register with the state, it's like $200, I think. So to start it up, besides inventory, it was like maybe $1,000-$2,000, which not that much. But
so then you host your website, you probably pay for a year in advance or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, Shopify does it. So like Shopify has plans. Like first plan is like $29 a month, and the biggest one's $300. But yeah, and then I have to. So supplements is considered high risk, so you can't use like there's Shopify payments, which you can use their like website payment gateway or whatever.
Credit payment processing, basically, right? Yeah,
basically, essentially what you like run your card swipes through at the store. That and like before I was about to launch less than a month away from launching my website, Shopify emailed me, said, "Hey, Shopify payments is like you can't use it. It's your category is high risk. You have to find a new payment gateway." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, we went through that with Change Organics hard. PayPal banned me. I think like that account, it's actually Nicole's account. It's gone forever.
Yeah,
like, her personal email can never be used on PayPal again.
PayPal is, I mean, it's not as regulated as, I mean, even with supplements. Like I had a business PayPal account because obviously if you go on the website, it's easy. Shopify, you just hit PayPal and it's a lot easier to pay and quicker. Well, I found out after I had like $1,000 of money ran through PayPal, like my first couple of days or weeks or whatever, that they make you like, they hold your money until like you have to manually put in the tracking number. And I'm like, it's nice for customers, but you're not holding me. It's like, you got to
manually do it every time.
Yeah. You have to manually enter your tracking number.
I think eventually after you do a certain amount of volume, it is automatic. Yeah. But
it's like I mean, it's good for the customer. They want to make sure that you're giving them the product. So you have to, once it's delivered, then you get your money. And even then there's a holding period. I'm like,
dude, what's weird is Square was the first one we tried to use for payment processing. Then they banned us too, right? Use PayPal worked like a charm for 5 months. Yeah. Then they were like, out of nowhere, you're banned. And
nice.
And then Square at the exact same time was like, hey, we figured it out. CBD's all good. So then we went back to Square, and we've just been fine ever since.
Yeah.
But it's silly, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's silly. It's silly.
Because even when I was trying to find like now I just go to U.S. Bank and their sister company or whatever. But even when I was trying to find companies that are like, you don't carry CBD, do you? I was like, no. Okay, good, because you can't do that. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying with the trademark, with that, with the ads. Like it's in a separate class, and I find it to be odd right now. I don't think it'll be permanently in that class.
Yeah. I think CBD is gonna be a lot better once people figure out what well, even like a year ago, it was like, I don't want to say sketchy, but it's still kind of new. But like, I feel like CBD is gonna get accepted, and it's gonna be a lot wider.
It'll just be treated like another supplement.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually. Yeah, because I'm sure supplements back in the day, I'm sure supplements were the same thing. Yeah, like pre-workout.
When that first came out, right? Like vitamins, like I get that, but what do you mean this pre-workout?
Yeah,
so it's interesting on the little things that you run into that you kind of got to work around and adapt to. Yeah. Because if you have that, right, you're already up and running. Yeah. Now you tell me I can't use you?
Yeah, it's like, oh, dude, I was like, what do you mean? And I called Shopify. I was like, all right, so what the hell does this mean? They're like, oh, you can't use this. You have to find somebody else. I'm like,
what does that even mean? Now I got to go search for it. Turns out it's actually really easy to find payment processors.
Yeah, which my bank is actually the last person I went to. I went through all these other companies, and it was like, one wanted to charge me a couple $100 a month. I'm like, all right, no. Now obviously there's a small fee, and it's not a couple $100 a month, but this one company's like $300 a month. I was like,
that's stupid.
I was like, stupid. No, and that's not. I'm not paying you $300 for this.
It should be basically a couple % of each transaction. Yeah, you know what I mean, and then maybe some monthly fees. Yeah. All right, so starting a website, dude. Did you get any help with that?
Kinda. My buddy Dan, he's familiar with Shopify, so like if I had I'd try to find it on Google because like he runs a business too. Yeah. I don't want to try to bug him, but like he was familiar with it, and he gave me some helping But luckily, Shopify support is they're pretty rad. And
so you trial and error, and you could probably figure it out if you're anybody, right?
Yeah, like
if you put enough time in.
Yeah, like me, I wasn't big at tech. I have no idea website coding or anything, but Shopify makes it like so easy. Literally, somebody like me who has not the smartest person in the world in that industry can figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's not the hardest, but there's a lot of like behind the scenes things people don't like understand. It's like to get this simple feature, you have to do 20 things before that. It's like,
yeah. But the bottom line is, if you don't know anything about it, you can still figure out how to do all of the shit necessary to do all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of YouTube videos. There's even this fantastic thing called Google. So
I know, right?
It's not.
That's what I've been hearing lately is YouTube and Google, right? So you can go to school for free, but you didn't, right? Or at least you dropped out.
Yeah. I was going to school for free. I was financial aid, and most of it was I got kicked out, and I had to like actually pay for rent. And there's another thing. I'm like, this is kind of stupid. Even now, I can go to school for free, and I still don't want to go to school. I'm like,
yeah, it's different for everybody. You know what I mean? But if I do know some people that work in the same field as you, and it is a long wait to get that job, and it pays pretty well, and the benefits, which are actually really important for you. I mean, I don't want to get too down the rabbit hole on this one, but how the fuck is your hip?
Dude, it's so I had surgery mid-July, and the Army actually paid for it, so that's cool. Because I messed it up. Because when I was working for you, it still hurt, but it was like a lot worse. Like last summer, not this past summer, but the summer before, I did something when I was at Camp Ripley training with my unit, and it just, I literally could run, but I couldn't run faster than like a 20-minute mile, which is 20-minute 2 mile, which is fucking slow. I usually run like a 15. It's like I literally couldn't run faster than a certain point, and like I was walking and it
How
hurt.
long is that stuff? How long have you been dealing with that?
Overall, slight hip pain, probably 6 months before I was working for you, so probably close to 3 years. But it wasn't terrible. It was just irritating. And then like in summer before last, it hurt really bad, and it was like it hurt to walk, which is like at the time I was 23. I was like, yo, I can't walk. It hurts to get up.
You were still working out throughout this whole time too, a little bit, right?
I was stubborn, yeah, and I still somehow passed the PT test. I don't know how I did that, but and I found out my labrum was torn, which was like the part in your hip where it's like your femur head is right here, and then like your hip socket's right here. It's what protects it from grinding against each other, and it was so torn they couldn't, like, normally they'd like stitch it up, but it was so torn that they had to just pull some pieces out. So I have like half a labrum now. So.
No shit.
Yeah, and I found out when I got an MRI before they missed that I had a torn labrum. So I was walking with a torn labrum
and that was easily preventable had they just not missed that.
Had the doctor, yeah, and of course the doctor tried to get me on this like preventative. He tried to say I have this type of arthritis, and he tried to get me on this medicine. I'd injected my hip. Of course, it was like $200 a month, and I'd have to be on it for the rest of my life. So doctor tried to push me on that, and then like they found his assistant was the one. I went back to see him at like a couple months after I got hurt in the whole military incident. I went to see his assistant. And she's like, "How's your torn labrum doing?" I was like,
"What torn labrum?"
I was like, "All right, first off," I was like, "What's a labrum?" Second off, I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, he didn't tell you? I was like, "No." I was like, she's like, "You've had a torn labrum since the beginning of summer." I was like, "What?" I was like,
and then they're like, "Hey, you got to come in and get this taken care of."
Yeah, at the time, since it happened on military duty, it took a year, literally took a year for the Army to approve it, saying they're going to pay for it. And then by the time it took them, they said, "Hey, we're going to pay for it." They're like, "Hey, by the way, you have a week and a half to get it done through your civilian doctor, or you have to get it done through the VA." I was like, "What surgeon's books is going to be open that quick?"
Found one, huh?
Yeah, so I called my surgeon. I was like, "Hey, this probably won't happen, but I have a week and a half to get this scheduled." He's like, "Oh, somebody actually canceled this morning." I was like,
"All right, looking out for you. Somebody's looking out for you."
All right. I was like, sick.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
No doubt. No doubt. So, man, for those of you that don't know, working retail, you stand all day, right? So I don't know how it is for the correction jobs or whatever, but... And you still got to go to the guard, and you still got to do that. So what does the surgery do? Does it fix the fucking problem or not?
It mostly did. I don't have that pain anymore, but I don't know the details of it. I just told them to fix me and whatever. But they took the labrum out, and I only have partial of a labrum, which I still have issues. Like if I run, like now it's to the point where it's a lot better, but you have to do a lot of like preventative like exercises and like mobility.
Did they limit any certain exercise? Give you any advice on that?
Not really. It wasn't a super major surgery, but I couldn't do certain things for a certain amount of time. I had to do physical therapy for like 6 months before I could get back to like full-fledged in the gym.
Yeah.
So like now it's like I ran yesterday, and like a couple months ago, if I ran, I'd have to take like 2 or 3 days off. But now it's like my hip's fine. Some days are worse than others. Like if I sleep, I can't sleep on my right side, and I can't sleep on my left side because of a shoulder injury I had in high school. So it's like I have to sleep on my back or my stomach. I can't sleep on my left side because my shoulder. I can't sleep on my right side because my hip is like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So listen, dude, how about when you were, prior to all this, right? AST stands for Adapt, Survive, Thrive. The hip thing is, man, I'm really thankful that I don't have that at a young age, right? Because that creates probably a long-ass road of pain for the most part.
Domino effect.
Domino effect, exactly. Yeah. And so, I know a little bit about your past, but what's your growing up life like in 5 minutes or less, right? I mean, I know you got a brother. I've met him. He's cool. Mm-hmm. Sounds like y'all live together.
Yeah.
But I mean, you pretty much been on your own 2 feet since when?
I kicked out when I was turning 19, I think. So I turned 19, and then so my birthday's February. That like May or something I got kicked out, which is a long story, but
long story short, you had to figure it out. So your parents together, divorced?
They divorced when I was the fall of my freshman year of high school, I think. So
yeah, you were pretty much on your own. Is your brother older or younger?
A year older. So he's 20. 26.
He went to college route, and then
he just graduated with his bachelor's.
Yeah,
debt free, like 2 months. Like 2-3 months ago.
Smart man.
Yeah, that's
if you can go to school and not be in debt, that's a different ball game than basically what I have going on. Yeah. I'm 32 and I still got some stuff, but I made a lot of mistakes along the way, Yeah. So you live and learn. Just sometimes you got to learn the hard way. Most of the time, actually.
Yeah, that's.
So you're living on your own, working at probably Sears, right?
Yeah. When I got kicked out, where was I working at the time? I actually think I was at corporate stores for my first round as a sales associate.
Okay.
So I was at GNC, and then I also worked a tow truck overnight. I towed trucks overnight. That was fun. And then I worked at Sears shortly after, and that was like a blessing because I was like $50K a year.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that you thought you were balling.
Dude, like, come on, man, $50K a year at 19. That's like a base pay.
And you don't have any student debt.
Yeah, my bills was less than $1,000 a month. So I was like, okay, I can dig this.
So how old are you now? Right now?
25.
All right, so basically 5 years, right? You in and out of jobs, dealing with getting kicked out. We'll leave that story as a long story, and so you've pretty much been on your own for the most part.
Yeah.
And then the correction job started about a year ago. Mm-hmm. The nutrition junction started about a year ago then, when you started actually working on it?
Yeah, I started working on it. I got my official LLC in like December of 2018, I think, or January of 2019. And then it took that much time to get funding and a credit card, and then get it
figure the rest out.
Yeah, so it took us out like probably close to a year to get it up and running. Yeah, mainly because I was worried about money the whole time. I was like, oh shit,
dude. And it's funny, man, because I was busy, right? We talked a lot, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this because it's true. Like I for sure was like, all right, Jesse, we'll see, bro. Because we disagreed on some stuff, and I didn't know you well enough at that point in time because I just didn't have enough time to get to know you. you know? And then the more I got to know you, like, you know when you make a decision about somebody, you don't really want to go back on that decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a slow process. I was like, fuck. No. I still don't believe it.
Yeah.
But basically, man, I was like, fuck. All right. This kid's never not shown up for work, never been late, no excuses, has a shitty hip, stands up all fucking day, you know, stays at the store overnight.
Yeah.
I know, like, your kicked out scenario, right? And going through some learning experiences, making $50K a year, right? Like, you spend money, like, when you don't exactly when you're young, dude.
Dude, I blew all that.
Yeah, for sure.
I blew all that money.
So and then you know, I knew that you were I knew that you were basically looking to get this corrections job, right? And it's funny because I had a different guy a long time ago get a dispatcher job, and he was a very similar pay grade and benefits. But dude, he was like on an 18-month wait list too. Damn. And I was like, damn, I lost him as an employee too. You know, I knew it was coming, but it was what it was, right. And I was happy for him, and same to you. But that's a long time, dude. And I think that you had this idea in your head for a long time. I think you probably bounced ideas off a lot of different people, Jeff for certainly, me, and basically the message that I want to get out is, you don't need to know anything other than one step at a time, dude. Yeah. Because that's pretty much what your story looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like it's like, I mean, obviously having a business plan is, you need it, but there's a lot of people who like, well, I want to start a business, but I'm going to write a business plan first.
Analysis paralysis.
It's like, okay, it's like you don't need a business plan to start your business. You need a business plan. Most people write a business plan to get funding, you get loans and all that stuff. That's obviously, most people want you to have a business plan to give you like $100,000 or whatever. But it's like a lot of people use the excuse of, I'm going to write a business plan first. It's like, but you don't need a business plan to start something like I started. It's like, is it nice to have after a while? It's like, yeah. It's like, I mean, mine's still not complete, to be honest with you. But it's like people kind of like pigeonhole themselves and give themselves excuses why they won't start. It's like, I'm going to do this before I start. It's like,
dude, my thing is like, if you can write a good business plan and you're capable and you got the business idea and you're gonna follow through, by all means go do all that stuff. Yeah. But if you sometimes just going and learning from mistakes is just fine, right? It's just like, do you bury yourself in a hole with money you took from somebody else or taking out a loan? Well, now you better have a little bit more organized structure, because you might not be able to recover from those mistakes, right? Yeah. But, you know, if you're doing something with low overhead, you know a lot about the product, right? That's taken care of. Now you just need to figure out the back end stuff pretty much. Yeah. Customer service, you already know the concept. You just got to figure out how to do it online. Yeah. You know?
Which is interesting.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. But sometimes the greatest lesson in life is a mistake. It's just, you know, you can't be too big of a one to take you down.
Yeah. You can't make so big a one that somebody sues you or somebody
Yeah, man. So, dude, I'm happy for you, man. And it's time flies, dude. Time flies.
It does. It's like,
but I appreciate you selling me that 9mm, because it's a hard pressed to buy one right now.
Yeah, dude. People are freaking pricing stuff so much. Like I know the price of guns. I used to sell them, and like it's just nuts. Like people are selling a 9mm like Smith & Wesson for $900. Like go.
I tried to. So I have the Glock 19 from you, and that's all taken care of, you know. But I wanted it in home shotgun when all this started to happen. I wanted one forever, but I'm fucking busy. Yeah. Go there. Fucking gone. And I'm like, damn, man, is really everybody's just paranoid? Dude, I just kind of want one, and now I got some time. Yeah. And so I ended up finding a police auction site of sort, right? Nice. And I think I am going to buy one on there. They're tactical. They're beat up. They're used. Right. But it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, there's like the best in-home shotguns are like Mossberg, and Mossberg makes I think it's called Mossberg Shockwave. It's like literally a shotgun like this.
A little handle.
Yeah, like
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like this big, and like there's a lot of kickback, but that'll ruin somebody's life. Like,
yeah, Remington and Mossberg seem to be the kings. But dude, I think there's a barrel. You can't have it shorter than 16 inches in Minnesota without being licensed in law enforcement.
Yeah, there's Minnesota has weird rules. I don't remember the exact, but like for tactical guns, you have to have a permit to carry. So like if you went to, if you went to buy like an AR-15 and you don't have a permit to carry, you can't buy an AR-15.
But you can buy something else.
Yeah, so like you can. It's kind of weird. So like you can buy like a hunting rifle or like a shotgun with no permit to carry, but you can't buy a tactical gun, which tactical guns are. An AR-15 obviously is a tactical gun and stuff like that. You have to have a permit to carry, but stuff like I think if
there's tactical shotguns too.
Yeah, like if a barrel is under like I think you
it's
like
16.
Yeah, 16.
I looked it up. Yeah,
like you need a permit to carry, which some people like selling guns, people didn't know that. They're like, this isn't a handgun. I don't need a permit. I'm like,
dude, and some of the short barrel shotguns even have extra restrictions. I think Minnesota's allowed, but it seems to be state specific.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get in no trouble, so I'll just stick to the 16. I don't want to deal. I don't want to deal with the headache. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's interesting. So jumping to current, dude. What is just because I'm straight up curious?
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about how many you don't have to specify where you work, but you work in a corrections facility, right? And there's I just closed a loan for a guy that works in Sherburne County.
Nice.
And so what do you know about what's going on, right? Because are they bringing people into places like that right now?
So it's kind of they're not. It's only from like from place to place. So like you can't. They changed it. So like if you have to report in, like I don't work in a state facility, so it's not like people serving life without parole or anything. It's like they're serving sentences a year before or a year or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're only accepting.
So a year or less.
Yeah. So
you're in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
you're not in prison.
Right. So we're not like a life without parole. It's only like anything petty from like drugs or DUI to like. I mean, anything under a year. There's even
some... So some people that are waiting to go get their final sentence probably are going to be there for 6-8 months if they can't post bail.
Yeah, so
they may go to prison.
Yeah, so we're a post-sentence facility, actually. So, like, downtown Minneapolis, that's where you go. So, say if I get pulled over, I get a DUI.
Yeah.
Or I have drugs, whatever. If you, you'd first go to downtown, and then that's where, like, you'd await trial. And, like... depending on the judge you have, which now I see which judges do what.
It's predictable almost, huh? That's fascinating.
And obviously I mean, I'm not a criminal justice or expert or anything about charges, but there's certain charges that get a certain time.
Yeah.
And like if you mess up, like there's people that's been in our jail that messes up enough. They mess up enough and their POs get sick of them. They actually go to like a state prison. They're like, okay, like they'll even be as petty as, okay, you get a year and 1 day, which means you go to a state prison. Huh. So if they get a year, they might be in our facility. I don't know, but a year and 1 day is a state prison. So like the judge.
Unfortunately, I remember that from my past. Was the year and 1 day. I really didn't want to get that year and 1 day, and I didn't get anything, thank God.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty crazy.
So what about the virus, man? They got you doing anything differently?
A lot. So they, I mean, obviously the residents are. Fun fact: Hennepin County wants us to call them residents instead of inmates.
Oh fuck.
So I mean, it kind of makes sense if you break down. It's like if you call somebody inmate, they might think they're a bad person. If you call them resident, it's a different. It's kind of interesting, actually, the whole psychology thing with that.
But so I don't have a problem with changing the name to resident and making it more humane and personable, right?
Yeah. That actually help people to like not reoffend, and it's actually pretty. There's a whole psychology thing behind it. But
is there studies to say if it works or not?
Apparently, I mean, it works with some of these. I mean, some of the inmate residents even call themselves inmates. But I don't know if that's what the county wants us to. Because when we write reports, if you write inmate, you're gonna
be in trouble. Man, it's crazy how. I don't even know what the name of these things are. Social
distancing.
Well, there's that, but what are the names for the correct way to address somebody? Like politically a correct way to address somebody. There's been so many evolutions of that, right?
Yeah.
Now we're dealing with he and she and whatever that is. You got inmate and residence. You got a long time ago with women and minorities.
We run into that too, like transgender. I just literally call people their last name. I'm not going to call you he. I'm not going to call you she. Even if you're clearly he, I'm calling you by your last name.
That's fine, dude.
Like I'm not going to get into the politics. Like
I'd rather be called by my last name if I was in there, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I feel like that's my name, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what else do they got going on there, man? I mean, you can only keep people separate for so long. I mean, do they have people doing mostly time in their cell?
Mostly, they still have meals. They broke up the schedule to make sure people are social distancing, and they set up housing so they're social distancing. It's obviously
But what about new people coming in, dude? Like off the street. I mean, hey, you get in trouble now. You got to come in with us, and you're still inside a closed facility.
Yeah. So luckily, we're a post-sentence facility, so downtown they deal with all that, and it's so they get screened. Because I mean, there's medical staff at each prison or jail. And you get screened before, and if you, some jails are even doing a 14-day quarantine. If you come in from another facility,
well, that makes sense.
Which most facilities are only accepting people from different facilities. I don't know what the court cases look like, but I'm assuming if you have to report into a facility or if you're serving time, and you're coming in off the streets, they're probably holding that off for a while. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But where was it going with that?
Just differences.
But they're probably holding off from that, and most facilities are only getting people from different facilities. And even if we get somebody from a different facility, they'll probably do 14-day quarantine even if they don't feel sick.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of facilities are doing.
That's a good idea.
And even so
it's a good. I don't see why you wouldn't do that if you have the ability to. I get being quarantined sucks. Jails are really small the way it is.
And even some DOCs, some state prisons, so it's not us, but some places where they serve more than a year, they're apparently trying to pass bills in some states to release them early or something.
Yeah.
That's a bill it's right New York and Ohio or something, because obviously state prisons, they have thousands of people.
Oh yeah.
So that's not good.
No, they can't take care of thousands of sick people either.
And there's only so much medical staff that have to take care of them, and there's only so much separation you can do in federal prisons. It's there's thousands of people, there's only so much separation you can do.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing. It's how they're deciding who's going home, that's the government. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So listen, man. What about Nutrition Junction during this? I mean, business been affected? Staying the same?
Luckily, as long as the post office and UPS doesn't close, I'm still operating. Yeah. But there's the first 2 or 3 weeks of this, people were not spending money.
Yeah.
So obviously their home workouts, gyms are closed. They're probably not buying pre-workout. Some people are.
We're still selling it, but I get it. Sports is down in our stores.
Yeah. So I mean, I think people were spending very scarcely the first 2 weeks. Now I've noticed people are just saying basically, screw it. I'm still gonna buy products.
To get this stimulus check.
Exactly. So people are spending money a little bit normally now because they're as you said, the stimulus check. But
it's more in your head. Yo, I get it. They're fear mongering at me. Yeah. Somehow I'm still okay.
Or even a lot of people, they're not. This is reality checking people. They're not going out as much. So
they're spending less money elsewhere because they can't.
Yeah. So they're not going out, and a lot of people they're probably realizing, oh my God, I spent $500 on alcohol a month by going out. Now I'm not going out. I have $500 to spend. Huh?
Maybe 400. Maybe they're just drinking at home now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But it's still a lot cheaper. No, I get that.
Yeah. So people aren't spending as much money on stupid stuff, and they're still probably scrolling through Amazon or the internet and
yeah, but now Amazon ain't even delivering nothing that's non-essential for fucking 3 weeks. I ordered a cord on there yesterday. Simple.
Yeah.
Not gonna be here till May 5th.
Even Amazon Prime, so Amazon Prime, you could probably order something today and get it Monday or Tuesday. Now it's you order something and it's.
Bro, this was Amazon Prime. It's the 11th today. I'm not gonna get it till the 5th of May.
Oh my God.
I'm probably gonna cancel it, go to Best Buy and do a pickup because I don't know why I wouldn't. You know. Plus, I like to support. I don't give a shit if it's big box or anything. I like to support physical structures in my neighborhoods.
Yeah.
As I don't really want them to go away.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna look real ugly if they're all gone.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not gonna be a cool place to go or be around.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll evolve and all that other jazz, but but yeah. So. Give me the outlook on, and you might not even have this planned out, right? Half the time I don't know what a 5-year plan looks like for me. But what can you say is your desire for the Nutrition Junction first entrepreneurial endeavor, and would you ever leave the corrections job or would you? Because I'm dual career, right? I'm an employee and then I own my own businesses.
Right.
And there's a reason why I do both.
Right.
Probably the same as yours currently.
Yeah.
Right. Like, especially when GNC's in trouble right now, and maybe I'll get help from the government, maybe I won't. Long story, you know.
Yeah, I hear that.
But this will save that.
Yeah.
If it needs to.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So you know, we'll finish up with that, bro.
So what's nice about the corrections job, before this, I used to be a bouncer at a bar in St. Louis Park, so I did that for like a year. And I don't know why I like it, but I like security type stuff and like dangerous type stuff like that. So it's like I
remember
always...
you did Super Bowl, didn't you?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was
fun.
I was about to say that was fun, but I didn't actually do it. You just told me about it.
Yeah, it was. So I mean, hopefully the reason why I don't have a physical store now, well, first off, money. I could probably get loans because with the military, I could get, as you said, VA home loan, and there's apparently other business loans.
There's a commercial version of it.
Yeah, and
I don't know any details, but
yeah, so there's that I can get, but it's like I'm in the National Guard right now, so it's like I have 2 or 3 weekends of fucking summer, and then I have like a weekend or 2 a month, which is like if I don't, it's like when I open a retail store, I want to be there like a lot, so it's like I don't. Obviously, I'm gonna have to hire employees, right? But the first like year, I don't.
You gotta
like,
be the guy in there, man.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to like have to hire somebody right away to run the store for 2 or 3 weeks or a weekend. I just don't want to do that. So that's the reason why I'm still online, and the money issue too.
Yeah. And that might prove to be the way you stay. Who the fuck knows, right?
But hopefully in hopefully after my contract's done in like 2 or 3 years, it's 2 years. Hopefully I can get a physical store, and obviously with the physical store, I'll still do online. I'll still do online. So. Yeah, it's kind of the plan, and who knows? Maybe I'll stay at the corrections facility because I work overnights.
Yeah,
like there's a part-time job I can get where I basically choose my hours. Where I say, hey, I can work 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah,
I mean it's still good pay.
It's hard to give up, dude.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe one day that'd be fun to start like a security company or some type of like I don't know.
That'd be badass.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure, bro. All right, man. What's I know this answer too, actually. What's your favorite sport?
Oh man, to watch or play?
Watch.
Probably football. Hockey's a close second.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Favorite music artist?
Oh man. If we're going rap, probably Machine Gun Kelly, and then second, or if we're going to rock, probably Falling in Reverse, I guess.
Okay.
So
okay. I'll let you have 2 answers. That's fair.
It's hard to choose, man.
It's hard to choose for sure. Favorite film or series?
Ooh, Sons of Anarchy. Favorite series. I've seen that series probably 6 times.
6 fucking times, bro?
Yeah, it's now it's only on Hulu, so it's like I can't watch. It's like it used to be on Netflix, but they pulled it off, so it's like, shit, man. Apparently it's on Hulu. I didn't know that, but
well, I could see a security or something with guns in a business in your future, I suppose. Then
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
running a gun store, that'd be cool. One building the gun store, one building supplements. That'd be kind of cool.
Right.
But I don't know, selling guns.
Just don't take too much pre-workout while you're shooting guns, man.
Oh yeah, that'd be. Oh, yeah. Man.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming out, man. It's
man,
been a while since I don't think I've actually seen or talked to you much since. You said you had that 9 for sale, and I took advantage of you. I didn't take advantage of you. I took advantage of the opportunity to buy it from you.
Yeah. It's been
good though.
A year ago.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, congratulations, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, dude. Social distancing. We out.
Take that and rewind it back.